Good evening, race fans. Welcome to round 8 of the Formula Zero, the League Zero Formula 3 series as we get ready for round 8 here at Monza. Guaranteed to be another good time, and the points keep getting shaken up. We've seen a lot of great action, but as always, on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, as well as League Zero, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As we take a look at the updated points, it's Russell Soto still on top after a wild week last week after round 7. Raymond Aguilar currently in second, Brad Tritt in third, Antonio Bianchi fourth, and Jared Ziegler rounds out our top 5. So we've got the individual drivers championship still pretty close for the top 5 drivers, as well as the constructors championship where you've got SB Grand Prix leading the charge with 323 points. Track Limit Racing in second with 200 points, and then Team Oversteer third in points. So it's going to be another great race here at Monza as we get our drivers out to the grid for the feature event. The maximum 45-minute long race. But let's take a look at tonight's grid. Starting on pole, Brandon Dwan in the number 96 machine. Raymond Aguilar starting second on the grid. Then we've got the world-famous Matthew Casey, the number 15 machine, starting third. Brad Tritt, number 26, starting fourth. Danilo starting fifth in his number 9 machine. Antonio Bianchi starting 6th, the number 17 machine. Chase Small, the number 5, starting 7th. Josh Green, the number 22, starting 8th. John Clayton in the number 41 machine, starting 9th. John Kasai starting 10th and the number 3. Peter Rettinger, the number 44, starting 11th. Hunter Graves, the 37, starting 12th. Cycle the field back a little bit. You've got Nick Peterson, number 24, starting 13th. Angelo Veloz and the number 19, starting 14th on tonight's grid. Ryan Thibault, number 27, starting 15th. Jared Ziegler, the Oval Racing professional, number 57, starting 16th. Varun Patel, number 99, starting 17th. Michael Fairchild, number 88, starting 18th. Gareth McAllister, the number 25, starting 19th. Simon Fellows will be starting 20th on the grid in the number 73 machine. Xavier Sanav will be starting 21st here tonight. Aaron Claybaugh in the number 47 starting 22nd. Foster starting 23rd in the number 32 machine. Levi Opitz starting 24th on the grid in the number 7 machine. Then you've got Russell Soto in the number 50 starting 25th. Prasanna Rajan starting 26th. And then Ashton Schleiss in the number 68 machine will round out the grid here of 27 drivers for this spectacular round. As we get ready to send them out, we're going to get all the drivers gridded up as we wait for everybody to take it or get out onto the track. I'd like to once again thank you to everybody that tunes in each and every week supporting your favorite drivers here at the League Zero Formula Series. A lot of great racing for these open wheel professionals as we get ready to do 22 laps here around Monza. Quite the grid here today. It's going to be interesting to see if they can get through clean. There's usually a couple of a little bit of carnage going into lap 1, but let's see if they'll be able to hold on to it here today and maybe keep a nice clean event for everybody at home. Wait on a few more competitors to get onto the grid before we get this party started. Again, 22 laps here for the feature event. That will be followed by the sprint and the feature event. The top 10 score points. And then for the sprint, we're going to invert that top 10 for the starting grid. And then only the top 8 points. But as we get ready to light the lights here at Monza, here we go. It's Brennan Dewan. A little bit of smoke off the start. They're going to go diving into turn 1 together. Right now, it's still Aguilar out front, Casey second. We got somebody off the grass over that's going to be Ryan Thibault and possibly Jared Ziegler as well. As look at that, Casey gets involved in a little bit of an incident there. As well as Simon Fellows involved in an incident. Ryan Thibault involved in an early crash. Jared Ziegler involved in an early crash. Look at that, we caught it right in time. Brennan Dewan almost has a huge moment himself trying to reel in Raymond Aguilar. One of the most beautiful tracks that we run at. Look at that huge crash at the back. That's going to be Ashton Schleiss and Gareth McAllister both involved. Schleiss, the number 68 machine sponsored by Martial Arts. He's going to be off track early on as well as Gareth McAllister. Cycle back up front, Brennan Dewan trying to chase down Raymond Aguilar. Aguilar currently has about a 1.3 second lead over the number 96 machine, running second on track. Always such a cool experience broadcasting these open wheel experts. When they crash, they usually do so very spectacularly. Now the question is, will Aguilar be able to run this race uncontested? We're going to cycle a little bit further back in the field. As it looks like Russell Soto, the number 50 machine, is a DNS for this race. They did not start. The current points leader unable to make it out for tonight's race. So that has the potential to really shake things up in the championship. Chase Small trying to make some moves. The number 5 machine is just ahead of him. That is Matthew Casey, Danilo DaCosta to go off track. That's going to allow Chase Small, Antonio Bianchi, John Kasai to pick up a couple more positions here. And what a beautiful day at Monza. One of those tracks that seems deceptively easy, but is easy to make a race-ending mistake out here today. As you were watching the battle for fourth, Chase Small currently leading Antonio Bianchi, while Small is also trying to whittle away at that 0.8 of a second gap that Brad Tritton currently has in the first podium spot in third. 0.8 of a second separating Chase Small from Brad Tritton. That is your race leaders: Aguilar, Dwan, Trenton, Small, Bianchi, your top 5 here. As Raymond Aguilar clicking off laps up front. His last time by was the fastest lap of the race with a 1:45.84. He's got the clean air and he's able to charge hard here today. Quite the battle for 6th on track. This is Jared Ziegler leading Nick Peterson, John Kasai, Peter Rettinger. An absolute gaggle of drivers trying to get that 6th place spot. Ziegler, he is currently up 10 spots tonight in the number 57 machine. And he's got a whole lot of company as here comes Nick Peterson, number 24 machine, trying to dive it up the inside and not quite able to make it stick, as everyone behind him is trying to figure out where they're going to cut through traffic and try and make something happen. That is John Kasai trying to fend off Peter Rettinger. Rettinger in the all-black open-wheel car, followed by Hunter Graves and I believe Angelo Veloz as well. This is why they are some of the best in the business, able to consistently go 2-3 wide. Looks like Jared Ziegler was able to stretch his legs just ever so slightly. He still has Nick Peterson glued to his rear wing, but right now it's between John Kasai, or excuse me, Peter Rettinger and Hunter Graves. Rettinger was able to get through in the all-black machine, but can he hold off against Graves, who now has the inside? Looks like he's going to make something happen. It'll be a drag race down the start-finish line going into turn 1. Everybody trying to find a draft partner to squeeze a little bit more time out of his laps before going into the first chicane. Up front, Aguilar keeps getting faster and faster with a new fastest lap of the race, a 1:45.24. So still finding speed up there and really not showing any signs of slowing down. As Rettinger and Graves putting on a show. Look at that, Rettinger absolutely sends it up the inside. But is that going to hurt his momentum coming out of the chicane? And will that allow Hunter Graves to try and make up some time here? It looks like Rettinger's going to make it stick for at least a little while, as Graves is going to play catch up. Cycle back in the field just ever so slightly. We've got a battle for 11th really shaking up between Angelo Veloz, Michael Fairchild, Danilo Da Costa Sparapin. As look at that side-by-side action. That is Fairchild and Veloz putting on a show for everybody at home. Such talented racers from first all the way back to 12th. We've got heated battles. Everybody racing very well here today. We've seen a couple of incidents, but so far no big problems. As John Kasai is involved in an incident. Kasai has to take the alternative line through the chicane, the slowdown, to get back out on track. He will now find himself 8th on track. Hopefully doesn't have too much damage on the wing of that number 8 machine, as he is now behind Jared Ziegler by about 3 seconds. And now Ziegler has caught up to Nick Peterson. Tough to keep track of all the action going on here today, as there's just great racing all across the circuit. With these feature events, we can expect to see a one-stop race from our competitors. on board with Jared Ziegler as he tries to chase down Nick Peterson's number 24 machine. Ziegler in the 57 doing everything he can to find a little bit more time here. Speeds of over 150 miles an hour down this backstretch, over just barely tapping 160 before having to get hard on the brakes. As look at that, Brandon Dewan up front, or up in second, I should say, clicks off the the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 45.09, and he is now only 1.9 seconds behind your race leader, Raymond Aguilar. Aguilar's been up front almost uncontested the entire race, but has Dewan, number 96 machine, have found a bit more pace later on the run. It looks like he did not get the drive out of the bus stop that he wanted, and that will slow his momentum ever so slightly, catching up to Aguilar. And look at this, now it's a three-way battle for third. Brad Tritton, Antonio Bianchi, and Chase Small has come out of nowhere here. Chase Small is about half a second back from Antonio Bianchi. Raymond Aguilar has an incident up front though. He goes off track. That's going to allow Brandon Dewan to take over the race lead with a second advantage. And that's also going to allow Brad Tritton, Antonio Bianchi, Chase Small to catch up to the lead two cars here. We are only 6 laps in, ladies and gentlemen, and already things are getting heated up at the front. Does Aguilar have any aero damage that may affect him in this race? Because the 3-pack of Tritton, Bianchi, and Small are going to be charging up hard, trying to catch up to your race leaders here at Monza. Now next week these competitors are going to have an off week, a bit of a chance to breathe and maybe work on their program during the week off. But then we'll be returning back to the action September 23rd for a fun race at Summit Point Raceway. And then we'll be back to our regular scheduled shenanigans. Now later on in the season we'll be covering these events live instead of tape delay, and that's going to be quite the treat. I believe the first round we'll be covering live will be October 28th, the Red Bull Ring. So I am looking forward to that one and seeing all the events up close and in person, as these guys every week put on quite the show. Now Brandon Dewan, Raymond Aguilar, as they get back in their groove, they're able to click off faster laps than Tritton, Bianchi, and Small, extending their gap over that 3-pack of cars battling for third, as you see them come into focus at the back of your screen there. Now, 22-lap feature event, expecting all of our drivers to come in around the lap 11 mark. It's interesting to see if anybody goes for a bit of an overcut or an undercut here. But again, these races do require one pit stop. Out of 25 drivers that took the grid, we still have 23 out on track and charging hard. Now the rule for League Zero generally is if you have to take a tow back to the pit lane, you are done for the night. A little bit further back where we've got Antonio Bianchi, Brad Tritton, Chase Small still battling hard for that podium spot. Right now Tritton is in that third place spot, but right behind him he has two very fast and consistent drivers as Aguilar has another bit of a moment, goes off track ever so slightly. That's going to extend the lead that Brandon Dwan currently has. Now Aguilar wants to keep the pace here. He does not want Trenton Bianchi Small to catch up, because the more you find yourself battling with other drivers, the quicker it is to lose sight of the guy in front of you. Current running order: Dwan, Aguilar, Trenton, Bianchi, Small making up your top 5 here today. And then they have about a 10-second gap to 6th place, Nick Peterson. As now Dwan up front with clean air, keeps getting faster and faster, dropping the fastest lap of the race at 1 minute 44.84. Still finding speed this late into the run. Still quite the battle here for 3rd. Nobody really prodding too hard here. I'm going to be interested to see if they wait for maybe their first fuel stop, their only fuel stop, to try and make any big moves. And this is really the battle to watch here. Trenton still getting chased from Bianchi and Small. Aguilar still having more off-track incidents as well. Aguilar about 1.7 seconds back from Brandon Dwan, but still about 4.3 seconds ahead of that pack of drivers battling for 3rd. Now your race leader Dwan has lost a little bit of time that last lap, slowing down ever so slightly, but he does know he's got almost a 2-second lead. He doesn't have to hot lap too aggressively here and possibly risk damaging his race car and a potential win here. And I believe lap traffic is about to come into effect for the first time here today as you watch race leader Brandon Dwan start to reel in traffic. I believe that it's going to be Foster in the number 32 machine. He'll be going a lap down here shortly. Now Foster may be able to stay in front of the race leaders as the pit cycle or the pit window starts to open up for Dwan and Aguilar. We expect to come for these drivers to come in anytime around lap 11, but Brad Trenton has a moment. Completely losing the front wing of the car. Trenton in big trouble, number 26 machine. He no longer has any front downforce as the car is aggressively crab walking down the track. That has allowed Antonio Bianchi and Chase Small to move up into 3rd and 4th. But watch as the field is massively stacked up behind Trenton as he's going to try and limp that number 26 machine back to pit lane. And he will be able to safely make it back to his pit stall. Antonio Bianchi also coming into pit lane. I'm not sure if Bianchi had any damage there or not. We try and get a camera angle that has a look. It looks like he's relatively all right. So Chase Small opts to stay out in the number 5 machine, picking up that 3rd place spot. Now it is Nick Peterson, Jared Ziegler battling hard for that fourth place spot as you see Ziegler sitting around the outside of Peterson, able to make it stick without any worries or issues. Antonio Bianchi, after his pit, he comes back out 14th on track. But pretty much the entire top 12 has not boxed here yet today at Monza. This is the three-car battle for fourth. Jared Ziegler, Nick Peterson, John Kasai. Then you've also got Josh Green, Peter Rettinger, Danilo DaCosta, Sparapin, Hunter Graves, all in the mix here today. Saw Levi Opitz have a bit of a moment there in the number 7 machine, able to get pointed in the right direction. Jared Ziegler, John Kasai coming into pit lane. I'm surprised. Dwan, Aguilar, Small, Peterson, Green, Rettinger, DaCosta, Sparapin, all opting to stay out here. When are we going to see our top 5, top 7 drivers decide to finally come in? As now it is everybody inside the top 10 has not pitted, while the rest of the field for the most part has here today. Again, the pit window opened on lap 11. Nick Peterson still holding on to fourth place ahead of Josh Green and Peter Rettinger, all within 2 seconds of the number 24 machine running fourth on track. Aguilar blazing fast. I mean, really the top 2 drivers blazing fast. Both Dwan and Aguilar clicking off some of the fastest laps of the race hands down. And now Aguilar has caught the draft of Brandon Dwan, your race leader. Which of the 2 drivers is going to be the number 96 of Brandon Dwan or the number 83 of Raymond Aguilar, who will be the first out of the top 2 to come down pit lane for the only time here today? I'd imagine they're going to stay out as long as they possibly can to try and drain every bit of fuel before they come in for the final time. Dwan and Aguilar both on a different level here today, clicking off high 1 minute 44s and low 1 minute 45s very, very consistently. It seems like once Dwan finds that clean air, he can really put down some blazing fast laps. But we know Aguilar has the pace as well to make something happen. So we're going to be interested to see what happens and when these drivers decide to come in together. I would imagine they box together. No, I take it back. Aguilar, one of the first drivers in out of the top 2. As Dwan clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 44.79, still getting faster out front. This is going to be very interesting to see what happens once Dwan decides to pit and where he's going to end up in relation to Raymond Aguilar. Now you're watching the battle for what is soon to be second place, Nick Peterson and Josh Green. With a little bit further back, DaCosta Sparapin trying to catch up to the other drivers. Again, these drivers have not pitted yet either. So your top 4 drivers, Juan, Peterson, Green, DaCosta, Sparapan, have not come down pit lane yet. Josh Green trying to catch up to Nick Peterson. He's about 1 second back in his number 22 machine. And doing everything in his power to try and gain a little bit of time before that one mandatory stop finally happens. They definitely do not have enough fuel to make it all the way to the end. Purposely designed to force a pit strategy here for our League Zero competitors. Brandon Dewan, your race leader, he comes down pit lane on lap 14. Now this is where it's going to get very interesting to see where Dewan comes out on track relative to Raymond Aguilar. Those two have been battling hard all night long. Josh Green, Nick Peterson coming down pit lane. DaCosta, Sparapan opting to stay out once more. So now Raymond Aguilar will take over second place. Where is Juwan going to come out on track in the number 96 machine? As he is in pit lane for a very long time, Brandon Juwan may have a speeding penalty on pit road. Brandon Dewan finally returns back on track in 11th place after a 45-second window in his pit stall. That is indicative of a speeding penalty, which will all but throw away the race for the number 96 machine. One of the odds-on favorite to win it here today. Raymond Aguilar, second place. He's been odds on between Aguilar and Juan, one of the two fastest drivers out on track consistently. As Danilo DaCosta Sparapan will come down pit lane, allowing Raymond Aguilar to once again take over the race lead. Then you have to cycle back to about 8 seconds to find Hunter Graves, who will be in second, Chase Small in third, Baron Patel fourth, and then Jared Ziegler fifth. As no, Hunter Graves also comes down pit lane, so that's going to allow Chase Small to move up to second. So right now your top three, Aguilar, Small, Ziegler, everybody has pitted within the top 10 and will not need to come in ever again, barring any incidents. Now DaCosta Sparapan, he had a long pits time as well, 32 seconds in his stall, so not sure if he's getting some damages repaired on the number 9 machine or if maybe something else may have happened. But that is going to shake things up for some of the drivers. Most of the field pretty stretched out. Peter Rettinger, John Kasai still battling. They've been kind of getting close to each other all night long here. And another close battle is going to be Nick Peterson trying to chase down Josh Green, as they're about 2 seconds back from a possible podium spot, with Jared Ziegler in third, just 2 seconds ahead of these drivers. Expect to see Peterson, number 24 machine, try to catch up to Green, number 22, as quickly as he possibly can. 0.7 of a second separating the two drivers battling for that fourth place spot. Looks like Peterson's fallen off just ever so slightly behind Josh Green, as now it's about 1.2 seconds separating the two drivers, while Green has still got his head down trying to catch up to Jared Ziegler. He's about 1.4 seconds back from Ziegler in the number 57 machine, trying to work his way up onto the podium. He's only got 5 laps left to do to try and make something happen here. Absolutely sending it through the chicane here at Monza. About 1 second separates Jared Ziegler in third place from Josh Green in fourth place. As we may have a battle for the podium shaking up on our hands. Look at Green absolutely hucking the number 22 through there. As Ziegler has a bit of a blank number 57 machine, able to get it under control. We've been having problems with iRacing connectivity all throughout the week. Several of the events that I run in myself or broadcast for, we've seen drivers drop due to connection issues. So hopefully that is not going to be a factor here today, as Green gets a little bit wobbly there. Coming out onto the start-finish line straight away. He's going to lose a little bit of time with Jared Ziegler. He's going to be able to keep his head down and keep that speed up. Able to hold just a few more miles per hour down the start-finish line into turn 1. And he's gained, Ziegler's gained about 0.2 seconds on Josh Green just from that alone. Drivers doing everything in their power to put down as much speed as they possibly can. And this is the battle now for the podium. Jared Ziegler, the number 57 machine, doing his best to fend off Josh Green. Ziegler's last time by a 1 minute 45.41. Green with a 1 minute 45.37. So not a whole lot of time separating these two drivers as far as lap times go. Are we going to see Green able to pull up to Ziegler and maybe pressure the driver of the number 57 machine for that podium spot? Or is Ziegler going to be able to keep his head down and stay clean and charge up to the podium, scoring some much-needed points for the team here today at Monza? Such a beautiful shot watching these League Zero competitors make their way around. Again, some of the cleanest racing I have the pleasure of broadcasting, and some of the sharpest looking cars as well. I've always got to give a shout out to Martial Arts for both the paint schemes he does out on track, as well as the graphical overlays with the individual driver championship, as well as the manufacturers cup and the team championship. So well done to Martial Arts, always making his presence known out here. Does not appear that Marshall made it to the grid here today. maybe taking a week off with the holiday weekend. Jared Ziegler, he's been making a little bit of time up towards second place. Chase Small about 6.6 seconds. It separates Small in second place from Ziegler in third. But Ziegler's got to keep an eye out on that rear view mirror as here comes Josh Green. He's got it down to less than a second gap, separating himself between Jared Ziegler and trying to interrupt himself into a possible podium spot. .8 of a second separating Ziegler and Josh Green as they go down the straightaway. Only 2 short laps left here today. As no, Josh Green has a bit of a moment there and he rapidly falls off. He's now about 2 seconds back from Ziegler, so he may not have enough time to pull up and try and make any big moves here. Possibly overdriving the car at this point in the race, just trying to throw everything at the wall and see what may stick. So that's going to allow Jared Ziegler ample opportunity to get away from the number 22 machine. Danilo DaCosta Sparapet having a rough night here tonight. He finds himself back in 12th place after another incident. He has been one of those drivers that is just trying to survive and get to the end, not wanting to come out and play for the rest of the race, and just a rough night all the way around. Chase Small still in second place. He's about 15 seconds back from your race leader, Raymond Aguilar. Now Ziegler, he's found a whole lot of time. He's whittled away that advantage that Chase Small has had down to 6.2 seconds. But with the closing laps here at Monza, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to try and make anything happen. Now, as I say that, Jared Ziegler's found some pace. He's about 5.9 seconds back from Chase Small. Small's last time by was a 1 minute 46.34, while Ziegler was a 1 minute 45.82. So Ziegler's finding about a half second per lap over Chase Small, but with just not enough laps left to make it happen. I think Ziegler may have to be happy with a third place spot here today. As Raymond Aguilar, your race leader, has been in a world of his own, the fastest driver on track overall here today. Now, someone I got to give credit to, Brandon Dewan, who had a speeding penalty and went way down the leaderboard. He has worked his way back up to 7th, so able to salvage the night ever so slightly here in the number 96 machine. And I don't think he's going to have time to pick up another spot. He's got John Kasai about 5.6 seconds in front of him. But the fact that he's able to work his way up so many spots after that big speeding penalty on pit road is quite impressive. The white flag will fly for Raymond Aguilar as he will head around the circuit for the final time here today. A shame that the race was decided by what appeared to be, or at least what we can attribute to pit road shenanigans. Unable to see Brendan Dewan and Raymond Aguilar battle up front that we were hoping for, as both those drivers were really carrying some wicked fast pace around the circuit. Brendan Dewan, his fastest lap of the race was a 1 minute 44.79 compared to Aguilar, who clicked off a 1 minute 44.9. So both of those guys just absolutely hauling the mail out here today. Raymond Aguilar will make his way around the final quarter of the racetrack here at Monza with a commanding lead, 16 seconds over Chase Small and climbing. Now Aguilar will know if he finishes first here now, that means he'll be starting 10th for the sprint race, which is always action-packed. But ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Raymond Aguilar is going to win it here for the feature race here at Monza for round 8 of the League Zero Formula Series. Well done to Aguilar. And then it's going to be Chase Small, Jared Ziegler, Josh Green, Nick Peterson rounding out our top 5 here today. But a great race from all of our competitors. So quite the event here for the feature race. Raymond Aguilar able to put it up on top. Chase Small second. Jared Ziegler scoring third. Josh Green fourth. Nick Peterson fifth. But all in all, a spectacular race. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for the race finale, the sprint race. 15 minutes, the top 8 scoring points, and the top 10 from the feature race here today with the inverted grid. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, race fans, as we get ready for the final event of the night, the sprint race here at Monza. A reminder, it is a 15-minute race. We invert the top 10 from the feature results, and only the top 8 score points. Starting up front, it's going to be Varun Patel. Peter Redger starting second. Hunter Graves starting third. Brandon Dewan starting fourth. You've got John Kasai starting fifth. Nick Peterson starting sixth on tonight's grid. Josh Green starting seventh. Jared Ziegler starting eighth. Chase Small starting ninth. Raymond Aguilar starting 10th. Matthew Casey starting 11th. Danilo DaCosta Sparapin starting 12th. John Clayton starting 13th. Xavier Zinave starting 14th. Gareth McAllister starting 15th. We've got Brad Tritton starting 16th. Antonio Bianchi starting 17th. Michael Fairchild starting 18th. Levi Opitz starting 19th. Foster starting 20th. Ryan Thibault starting 21st. And Ashton Schleiss rounding out our field. But let's keep an eye out as we get ready to take to the green lights. It's going to be Varun Patel, Peter Redinger, your front row here at Monza for the sprint race. Let's get ready to get this party started, ladies and gentlemen. "11 laps and a whole lot of action here today. Here we go, but Peter Redinger asleep at the wheel at the starting line. It is already carnage for the sprint race. So many drivers absolutely collected. Oh, no. Jared Ziegler, Brad Tritton, Peter Redinger. Oh, man, what a spectacular start. That is about as bad as it could possibly be. Hunter Graves, Raya, John Kasai out front. Raymond Aguilar was able to get through clean, our previous race winner. As Brandon Dewan, Jared Ziegler, Brad Tritton will be out of the race. I don't believe Peter Redinger has made it out on track at all here today. for the sprint race. So that's going to allow Hunter Graves to get a little bit of TV time out front. But here comes John Kasai, number 3 machine. As towards the back, we saw another big crash. That's Levi Opitz involved. Heavy damage, as well as the number 9 machine, Danilo DaCosta, having just a rough night all the way around. And this is what makes the sprint races so exciting, not even counting the fact that we had somebody unable to get their car started on the grid, which is always the most dangerous thing you can see in any type of motorsports racing. But look at the 3-wide action! Oh my! That's Chase Small involved with that one. Oh, it is carnage here at the League Zero event. Chase Small, Matthew Casey, I believe Nick Peterson involved with that. Did Raymond Aguilar get through with damage? The number 83 machine does not appear to have damage, but he will be back to 12th place after working his way so hard up front. That has allowed Hunter Graves to check out by a country mile. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Josh Green. As behind them, more problems. John Kasai and John Clayton going everywhere trying to find some real estate. And that's what makes these sprint races so exciting. Only 11 laps to score some points. Only the top 8 drivers will score any points. As Raymond Aguilar, your previous race leader, still finds himself in about 11th place. As Kasai has a bit of a problem himself, allowing Patel to get by the number 99 machine. Right now it is Graves, Green, Clayton, Patel, Kasai making up your top 5. Raymond Aguilar has worked his way up back into 8, so he will be in a points position if he does. As man, these sprint races always provide a lot of action. We're going to check back with Raymond Aguilar has put down the fastest lap of the race, currently 7th on track, trying to dice through traffic. His last time by was a 1:46.23. As he's using all the curbing here today. Here's the story. How many positions is Aguilar going to be able to gain here today? He's put down some of the fastest lap times so far in tonight's race. As unfortunately, Dewan is out with the number 96 machine involved in that starting incident, really shaking things up here today. Oh, look at the contact. I believe that was the vault and Zanave having that bit of an incident there. As Fairchild goes off track trying to avoid getting into anybody in his damage number 88 machine. Raymond Aguilar has moved his way back up into 5th place here today, getting around Patel. Josh Green clicks off the fastest lap of the race, currently 2nd on track with a 1 minute 45.41. Aguilar currently 5th on track, but let's look back up front as now Hunter Graves is going to feel the pressure from Josh Green in the number 22 machine. And this is the battle for the lead as Josh Green sends it up the inside while also clicking off the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 45.28. He will get around Hunter Graves, and let's see what Green can do with some clean air in front of him. Meanwhile, your feature race winner, Raymond Aguilar, he's about 12 seconds or 11 and a half seconds back, currently 5th on track. Still looking good to salvage a great evening. These sprint races, especially with the first lap calamity we seem to see every week, can really make things exciting. As John Kasai having a bit of a blinking issue, Raymond Aguilar does as well. Again, we've had the iRacing services have been kind of inconsistent this week. But still a great race for the lead. Josh Green has not been able to shake Hunter Graves so far. Graves staying within about 1.5 car lengths pretty much the entirety of the circuit. They've only got 6 laps left to go. These guys, again, this is a one-stop race. They will not have to come in here today for fuel. Raymond Aguilar has moved his way up into 4th. It's after John Kasai has a bit of a moment. As Green his last time by a 1 minute 45.65. Graves with a 1 minute 46.38, but it seems Graves has been able to stay glued to the back bumper of the number 22 machine. Your race leader, Josh Green. Kasai comes into pit lane to try and get some repairs done on his machine. These Formula 3 cars, they are wickedly fast, but they are a little bit sensitive. If you find yourself touching something, you can quickly end your night, especially in just open wheel racing in general. If you go to wheel with a competitor, you can get absolutely launched into orbit as the wheel will try and climb up your competitors. Your race leaders, Green and Graves, they've got about a 4-second advantage to John Clayton, 3rd on track, and about an 11-second advantage to Raymond Aguilar. I'm not sure if Aguilar is going to have enough time with 5 laps remaining to make anything happen here. As Green and Graves with this open air up front, able to showcase what they're able to do, not really having any problems up front. Graves doing a great job out here today in the 37 machine, staying glued to the back bumper of Josh Green. This may be the race where things come together for the number 22 of Green and the 37 of Graves. They still got quite the advantage over third place John Clayton. With 4 laps left to go, they've got about a 4-second advantage and about a 10.5-second advantage to Raymond Aguilar. Now Aguilar did click off the fastest lap of the race just then with a 1:45.24. But I've got to give so much credit to Green and Graves. They're honestly running some of their fastest laps they have been all night in the mid to low 145s. They found some speed and they found a whole lot of consistency. As now Josh Green will have about a 1.2-second advantage over Graves. Again, only 4 laps left to go here at Monza. They may be in a good spot to bring home some of their best finishes so far this season. Because as a reminder to our fans at home, this is the sprint race. And the race prior to the feature event, the long format 45-minute race, it is the top 10 that scores points. But here in the sprint, it is only the top 8 that score points after we start with that inverted grid. John Clayton still trying to charge up to catch up to Hunter Graves. He's about 4 seconds back. As I believe Josh Green has just set his fastest lap of the race, the fastest lap of the race overall, with a 1:45.07. Now in the feature event, we saw a few very fast 144, high 144s. But Green is finding some pace here today. As we check in on our race leader, Josh Green, number 22 machine, he's extended his lead to about 1.5 seconds over Hunter Graves. But look at that, Aguilar is starting to get a little bit of speed here. Clicks off the fastest lap of the race, a 1:44.96. So Aguilar, he seems to be one of those drivers that gets more and more quick as the race progresses. But with 3 laps left to go, I'm not sure if Aguilar's going to be able to make anything happen with that 10-second disadvantage he currently has with the race leader, but he's got to be happy to be running 4th place on track after we saw that huge pileup at the starting line with that inverted grid. That is a tough one to try and get through and salvage an evening. Go a little bit further back in the field. Here's Varun Patel trying to catch up to Ryan Thabal. This is going to be the battle for 5th. Both these competitors are in the points race. As, John Clayton appears to have disappeared from the racetrack. He was running 4th. As Patel has problems too. Patel and Clayton both have what looks to appear a disconnect, as well as Foster. 3 drivers getting dropped from the circuit here. We've seen that before earlier in the week with other leagues. So that is going to allow Aguilar to move back up into 3rd, as it is Clayton, Patel, and Foster that have appeared to disconnect from the service. Aguilar clicking off the fastest lap of the race once more, a 1:44.94. He's still 7 seconds back from 2nd place Hunter Graves. But just like that, things have really shaken up here for the League Zero Formula Series as the Week 13 keeps rearing its ugly head. Two laps remaining for Green, Graves, Aguilar, Thabal, McAllister, your top 5. What a wild night overall. I mean, opening lap shenanigans, that's kind of normal. But then massive disconnects as well for our competitors. We don't have that many drivers still out on track. We have lost 15 drivers overall tonight via crashes and then iRacing shenanigans. My oh my, what a day here for League Zero. Just a couple of short laps remaining. Josh Green, your race leader. Hunter Graves second. Raymond Aguilar third. You got Thibault fourth. McAllister fifth. Aguilar keeps finding more speed, clicking off a 1 minute 44.82. The cards seem to have fallen in his favor tonight. Able to capitalize on other drivers' mistakes as well as quite a bit of luck winning the iRacing lottery and just not getting disconnected, as we saw several drivers get booted there. Aguilar has a bit of a moment, able to hold on to it, but he is on the ragged edge here in the 83 machine, trying to whittle away that 5-second gap that holds him back from Hunter Graves, currently second. Now Graves, he's about 4.4 seconds back from your race leader, Josh Green. But he's got to be happy running second here today. Really, all these guys have to be pretty ecstatic just to have survived the opening lap, as we saw so many great drivers absolutely collected here today. White flag will fly for Josh Green with a 4.2 second advantage over Hunter Graves and about an 8-second advantage over Raymond Aguilar, the winner of the feature race here earlier tonight. What a wild night all the way around. We had big crashes, starting line snafus, and then iRacing disconnects. So it has been quite the evening for competitors and broadcaster alike. And this is a series of firsts here for the League Zero gentlemen out on track. If you want in on the action, check them out, leaguezero.net. You too can join one of the best, I'd arguably say the best, Formula 3 series on the iRacing official service. Some of the best league events week in and week out. A lot of great competitors and friends on and off the track, and some of the biggest grids we've ever called for open wheel racing. As now Josh Green will making his way around for the final time, picking up the win here at Monza. Well done to grid number 22 machine. Has to be absolutely ecstatic here today. Able to bring home the victory. Hunter Graves will get second, Raymond Aguilar third, but overall, man, oh man, what an absolute wild night here today. Boy, that was a tough one for these guys. So tonight for the sprint race. Now, please ignore where it says feature result. It is an iRacing limitation on how they have to set up these servers, that it calls the sprint race the heat and the sprint race the feature. But that's going to be Josh Green picking up the win. Hunter Graves second. Raymond Aguilar third. Ryan Thibault fourth. Gareth McAllister fifth. Chase Small sixth. Xavier Zanave seventh. Foster eighth. Fairchild ninth. And then John Clayton rounding out our top 10. But man, what an exciting night for all of our competitors. As always, on behalf of League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula 3 iRacing League, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm wishing you a happy and safe weekend, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.